So
very true, very correct. And this brings us to the next question, where I actually wanted to say what are the factors that could contribute or could cause indecision, but let's leave that for later. Now, parents, from what you have said, play a huge role in helping children form decision-making skills. And from the earlier discussions we've had, we've seen that it's important that children begin early to learn how to make proper decisions, especially from home. So I'd like you to shed more light on what ways can parents help children, develop proper decision-making skills.
Okay, so what ways could parents
you mentioned
help
few,
children?
remember?
Yes.
You mentioned a few,
so
about your
so
children.
so number one is to encourage them. So a child has done something, and then you're saying, well done, wow, that's actually nice of you. How did you think about that? So maybe you were not home and they had done something right for you. Instead of coming and shouting, hey, what said to you? How did you do like that? Why did you move my stool? And then trust me, you will shut that child out, right? So if you are able to encourage them, you're providing that, hey, well done, that was thoughtful of you. You can go back later after 2-3 days to say you didn't do this well or you have done it better. But at that point, that encouragement is needed. Right? And also, you as a parent, you can provide support, right? So a child comes to you, mommy, carrying too close. I mean, I don't mind, I'm using clothes, right? And they come to you and say, mommy, should I wear? And then you are trained back to them. Not about support and guidance. And I'm like, so what do you think? So you, what do you think? So, if you wear this, how do you feel like? If you get this, so you are training it back to them. That's like support. Another role parents will play is through modeling. Most times, we parents, we actually want our children to have good decision skills. But if you involve them in what you do, for instance, you're making decisions in your office, and then you're just talking out loud. You're telling yourself, okay, so I think if I do this A, if I do this B, and then of course they're listening to you. So they even know that. So mommy actually also sometimes struggles with options, like so, and then you can tell them, come first. So depending on their age, like so, if you have it in it, come. So what do you think? I have A, B, C. I'm like, So you're involving them. That's modeling. You're doing it. You're seeing, and then you're making sure that they contribute, right? So you're telling, okay, so what do you think I should do? Whether you take it or not, whether you're taking their advice or not, but you've said you've mentioned something, and then they're like, oh, so that's one way. And then parents should also know that they're infallible. Most times we want to wear that perfect picture. I'm a perfect parent. I've never made mistake. I've not broken place before. I've not, and so the child sees that, oh, in this house we don't make mistakes. So if you make mistake, you're on your own, right? But when a parent is able to tell the child that, see, even your mommy here, I don't know everything. I want to make decisions. Maybe they see you asking daddy, they see you calling your friends, so they know that nobody, like, mistakes is part of life. Nobody died, I mean, so mistake is part of life. So make your mistakes, learn, pick up the lesson, and move, right? So parents can actually also help that child to know, see, you've made this mistake. Okay, so let's fix it. I mean, it has happened. Let's fix it. But are you not feeling that? No, you made mistake. How? How can you do that? That was so silly of you. Must be. And so next time the child sees that mistake, they see mistake like this. The choice. They see a choice like this, and then they see like, better I don't do it. Indecisiveness. It's also, I'm not going to do it. If I don't do it, there will no mistake. And so that's another role parents can play. Because one, by the time you shut your child up for every mistake they make, you cause them to have low self-esteem, right? So when a child is not confident, like if my own mother does not see any good, my own father does not believe I can do anything good, well, so Kukuma, they already know that my decisions are bad. So it's either they make no decisions or somehow, you don't worry, don't forget that words cast spell. So over time, our words, when the children speak, that's how they say words are powerful. You don't need to beat a child sometimes, right? A child is lying down, he's thinking he's in school, and then all he can remember is you're no good. How can you keep making this kind of mistakes? And then the child is like, oh. So imagine if that child is outside and there's a decision to be made. Would that child say anything? No. So it all starts from the house, starts from parenting. So if your child does not have a voice in your house, then of course you remove that child's voice outside. The child will not be able to become this best version, right? Because in my house, where I am supposed to be free, charity starts at home. Decision making starts at home. So if you do not have a voice in the house, then of course they can't go outside and become bold and have a voice. So you don't have self-esteem, and of course, yeah. So parents help build that. I talked about modeling. I talked about allowing them try things. Okay, so I think and that's when parents could do it. Deliberately allowing them try things. Just it could not be that it's not even coming from them. Just try them. So here at times you want to teach and launch. So you talk to them about something and then, okay, so what do you think? Come, it's something else, or it could be a film you're seeing. Life has teachable moments at all times. It could be a film that you're seeing and then you just say, hey, come. So for this film, what have you learned? So if you fall in this kind of situation, what happen? That's like a role play kind of thing. You're creating a scenario that's not happened either through your memory or a film that you're seeing, right? And I think those are the ways parents can actually help their children build decision skills, right? Yeah. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you now.
Okay, so I said while you were talking, something struck my mind when you talked about low self-esteem, because the children are usually being shut up at home, like, oh no, you don't have to say that. Oh no, don't take that. So the parents end up making decisions for them, and how does this affect them in the future? Okay, so we have two sides to this question now. Parents that make decisions for their children that end up making wrong decisions for them, how does it affect them? That's one. Then two, how does wrong decision affect the children's future? We have a whole lot from our discussion so far, but I just picked up this because of what you mentioned, through the low self-esteem and lack of confidence, that still silent voice that rings in the minds of the children when they're being shut up, when parents don't allow them have a voice at home. So how does this affect? Because parents end up making wrong decisions as well sometimes for these children. How does it affect their future? Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. I think I would love to start this with, most times, right, parents do not deliberately make wrong decisions for their children. Don't forget, I talked about when we have so many options and we don't have information backing the options we have. Because I think that's the case I see with most parents, right? So you want your child to do this, but you do not have enough information, right? So because somehow, if you look at true intention of every parent, right, is that their child should be better. But when you do not know the child you're raising, you don't know the temperament of that child, you do not even know the child's likes, you don't know what the embodiment of that child is, and of course, you may likely push him or her to the wrong decisions. So that being said, so I'm trying to say here that a parent who would make right decisions for their children would be parents who are learned, not really went to school, but of course has enough information. So dear parents, before you make decisions for your teenagers, children, be sure that you have enough information backing that up. That being said, we've seen parents who have also made decisions for their wrong decision for their teenagers because of trauma they are going through. So they've been abused themselves. They've been shot at whole life, but they don't know, right? And so they think the world and every other person uses the same lenses that they use. Right? So a mother who has been abused already has a perspective about boys, for instance, especially if she was raped. I'm just giving an example, right? So if she's going to advise her child, a teen girl, about relationship, the lens through which she's looking at the world will be different.
Yeah.